All right, we're starting today's video with an exploration of the string class. So what that means is here I searched for the string class in Java, and what came up is this Oracle, Help Center. So what this is, it allows you to see all the different methods that are related to this class. So we're using the string class right now. So all the methods that we can use are here. Now this stuff up here will become clear to you eventually, and this stuff also. So all this stuff here is constructors. Constructors just mean how we actually make the object. We talked about it a little, but it's coming. And then we get to the method summary. So very first one is one that you should recognize, the character at one. And if I click on it, what comes up is all the information that I need to run this method. I don't care how they did it. All I care is what I need to run it. And that is a specific thing that we call encapsulation. So if you look over here, encapsulation, I can't say the word, is also known as data hiding. To the outside world, an object is a black box that exhibits a certain behavior. So that means I don't care how the method works or how the object is changed, how you did it. What I care is what happened at the end. Okay, what I care about is the return and the parameters. These are the two things that truly matter. And when is it going to throw me an error? Okay, so this is a place you can go if you haven't gone already. If you want to look for methods that maybe might be more useful than the ones we have now. Okay, so in our thing, so the first thing we're going to talk about is trim. So if I go over here, and I'm just going to do a find on trim so I can just find it. There is my trim. Go away. Okay, so here's trim. Now, how do I use it? Well, I gave you little definitions, but you can come here and it returns a copy of the string with the leading and trailing white spaces omitted. So that basically means the beginning and the end, if there was any spaces, they're gone. It returns them gone. Okay, so it tells you exactly what it returns. This one doesn't have any parameters, and that's what I care about. So you can read the other stuff too, but you can read, so I don't need to do it. So trim. So if you look here, if I make this a string, some of you recognize that as little HTML there. Notice that there's a space here and a space here. Now it can be more than one space, it doesn't matter. Okay, but if I run this, and I want to see, you have S1, which is this one, this original. If I trim it, S1 does not get changed. It returns the value. So S1 is going to remain the same, and that's a very important concept you have to understand. Okay, so let's run that. Okay, so as you can see, S1 stayed the same even after I called the trim method, but S2 is the one I returned the value to. Okay, so that's how trim works. And that's how all of these converters that I'm calling them, I made that up, work. When you put a dot here, you run the method, it doesn't change the one that you're running it on, it changes this one. So technically I could, if I want to do to uppercase, if I want to change S2 completely, I don't want S2 to exist anymore, I could have done it that way. So it doesn't matter. I'm just going to do it this way. So to uppercase obvious does the obvious, I think. To lowercase does the obvious also. We'll show you what I mean. It just makes everything uppercase. Okay, so if you don't want to use the ignore case thing, you can just change everything to uppercase or everything to lowercase. Oh, I should have commented those out. But so notice this is S2. S2 right here wasn't changed. S3 was the one that it was returned to, the value was put into. All of these are uppercase. Okay, so let's comment this out just so that we don't see it when we run. So this particular one, that's what happened. S2 wasn't changed, so S2 was the one without the spaces. Okay, and S3 now is all uppercase because I took this value, whatever was returned here, and put it in S3. Okay, so, and then this last one, replace, wrong thing. What replace does is replace takes a value. So it takes U. So if you look here, we have a U. Right now it's an uppercase U in S3. It's uppercase because we made it all to uppercase right here. I want to replace the U with B, so I want to make it go from underline to bold. So it takes this, everywhere there's a U, and puts the B. Okay, so when I run this, here, notice there was a U here and a U here. It replaced them with B's. Now you're saying, Ms. Barris, why didn't I know this before when I was doing the kitten program? Too bad. You need to learn how to work. But anyway, so if I look here, you're like, well, Ms. Barris, we don't work a lot with characters. You were saying that, weren't you? We don't work a lot with characters. We work more with strings. So if you notice, if I go to the Oracle website, I can use replace. I can use replace here with characters, and I can use replace with strings. Oh, sorry. Hold on, let's pause. Now it says character sequence here, but you can put strings in there also. So you can also do a replace all with strings, but it works with replace also. So that works. So for example, if I come over here and I put double quotes around it, I made those guys strings right away. So when I run this, if there is not an error, okay, it still replaced the U with a B. Awesome. So even though I'm not outputting these values here, you know, these methods are still running, so the two uppercase is still working. So we don't have to output everything. We're just doing that to show you how they work. So to uppercase, to lowercase, trim, and replace are 4 things that you could know, but you can also go into here and find lots of other things that maybe are useful to you. See, look, there's substring. There's this one substring and the 2-1 substrings. That's so exciting. So all these things that we've learned, they're there. And if you want to learn more, that's where you go. Have a great day.